TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Thoughts on your series with Yokozuna?
Another great start. Yokozuna comes from that bloodline, Samoans. They all could work. I mean, Barbarian,
Yeah.
Fatu,
Mm-hmm.
Sammy, offense Sika, The Rock.
Right. Yeah.
All of them could work. They just could all work. And it's part of their heritage, It's in their bloodline. They're just all tough, They can take a beating in the ring and not even affect them, Haku, all of these guys, man. They're unbelievable. And Yokozuna was just, what a great superstar, 560 pounds. And the things that he could do in the squared circle was unbelievable. He was like moving like a cat at 560 pounds. It was so great with him because it was so realistic with him.
Right.
He was 560 pounds. To try to take him off his feet was not an easy task.
Right.
To lift him up, if you're lifting up 560, there's no way to fake that.
Right.
He's 560 pounds. So it was great working with him because, man, the stage was already set. Oh, the great Yokozuna, the great champion. It was already set. When you went out, you got Fuji behind him, and you got the whole Yokozuna ritual before. Everything, just like me at Tatanka. It was such a good clash, and we had great matches.
Talking about Fuji, did Fuji ever rib you?
Thank God he never ribbed me. Fuji was very, very nice. I had very minor ribs done to me. Very, very minor. One rib that was done to me was I had a lock put on my bag, just on the handle of my bag, which just made my bag heavier.
Right, okay. Who did you ride and room with at the time?
Oh, gosh. Spent a lot of time with Undertaker on the road. Mark Calloway spent a lot of time with Undertaker. We became very, very close friends. Also, another group that I hung up. If I wasn't with Undertaker, the other person I'd be would be Yoko and the Head Shrinkers. Either I was hanging out with the dead man, or I was with the Samoans all the time. It was either or.
Gotcha.
So it's either the dead man or the tribal people hanging out. The Samoans and the Native Americans. So that's who I was with. I was always with Yokozuna. I was always with Fatu. I was always with Sammy. We'd be driving in the car all the time. I spent a lot of time with Yokozuna, and great loss when he passed away because, again, he was a friend.
Did you play sports in high school?
Yes, I did. Biggest thing was football. Love football. We were state champs 2 out of 3 years. Came from the Virginia area. I was telling one of the boys earlier tonight when we were doing the personal appearance. Actually, the movie, Remember the Titans? That whole movie is from my area where I played football.
Oh, wow.
All those schools they mentioned were schools that I played.
Huh.
T.C. Williams, I went to Belfort High School, Hampton, Virginia. Great football, state champs. So that was the biggest thing, but I was also indoor and outdoor track. Went to the States there, too. Our wrestling team was state champions, too. I didn't wrestle because my football coach wouldn't let me wrestle, but I would practice with the wrestlers because I did enjoy wrestling. It was a fantastic workout, but my biggest thing was track and field and football.
Now, did you like wrestling or football better?
During high school, football.
Right.
Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. I played little leagues before even coming. I started little Pee Wee League. So I played football forever, and actually I had tryouts with the Dolphins, which maybe we might get to that shortly.
For sure. Do you have any good football recruiting stories? I guess people trying to recruit you.
Yeah. Biggest thing is, it's a funny thing right around wrestling. When someone was scouting me for wrestling, is when someone had scouted me a little bit before that with football. I was actually working for Bally's Health and Tennis Corporation, making great money, 6-digit income. I was really blessed to be able to be doing that before going to wrestling. So I'd already acquired business success before coming to wrestling, but I'd also had a free agent scout that had picked me up for football, went through all the trials. I was living in Florida. There's only certain teams that picked up free agents. Miami Dolphins was one of them. Went to their camp. They probably had about 2,500 guys that tried out that day. And after it was all said and done, there was about 20 guys that was left, and I had made the cuts. Wow. So I had an opportunity to play. This was many years ago during the strike season. but I'd have made 75 grand and I was already making more money than that. And then you also take the chance of when all the real stars at that time of football, when they came back, that you could have lost your position, and then I'd have left again, Bally's, this ring that I'm wearing, I'd have left a company there making a 6-digit income. So I stayed where I was at, more secure.
How did you get into bodybuilding?
Bodybuilding, I started actually, first competition was 1982. I was in Virginia. And I think it just had a lot to do with, I've always worked out, always did weight training. I actually was powerlifting, and it went from going from powerlifting, which I did in high school for football. Then I took the powerlifting techniques that we learned in football and I started competing with powerlifting. But after getting some size, then I wanted to get into bodybuilding. And I did very, very well with bodybuilding. Matter of fact, I was getting ready to be able to qualify for the nationals, but I started looking, going, what am I doing? I had some nice trophies, but I started realizing if you're going to go pro, which ultimately, if you're going to do anything, just like if you're going to wrestle, you want to be at World Wrestling Entertainment.
Right.
There's no other place. Same thing with bodybuilding. Unfortunately, in professional bodybuilding, there's a lot of things that you have to do. And I wasn't willing to do the kind of things that you have to do to be in that sport.
I was going to get to that, I guess. Was there any pressure to use steroids?
Well, without a shadow of a doubt, in that business, nothing. I'll be the first person to say this. Most people, they go, well, steroids. They think there's some kind of shortcut to success.
Right.
There's no shortcut to success. There's no shortcut to success with wrestling. There's no shortcut with training. You got to watch your diet. You got to be training hard. You got to be getting your sleep. You can't be out partying. You can't be out doing drugs. You can't be doing these things. So, but in professional bodybuilding, is the pressure there? Of course. You can't compete. It's two total different animals. Everybody in that arena, that's what they're doing.
Gotcha. Are your joints damaged today from your years as a heavy powerlifter?
No, not at all. I'm really blessed. I'm really, really thankful. I got a little irritation in my right shoulder, but nothing at all. My body's very, very healthy. Matter of fact, I just had a full physical done.
That's great. Can you talk about your NFL career?
Well, actually, it was very, very short and sweet.
Right.
Basically, I had made the cuts. They called me back to want to see if I would want to sign as a free agent. But after discussing it with my agent, I said, listen, I'm going to make less money. I'm going to go from 100 grand to 70 grand. I discussed with him, hey, how about if you get hurt? How about if the guys come back? So I told him the position I'm in, there's only one person here. So I made a decision, which is not an easy decision, because when you got pro football looking at you and the possibility of being a star of pro football, most people want to go after that glitz and glory. But I didn't. I stayed with something was secure. And another reason I stayed at Bally's is because I had the potential of seriously moving into a position where you made $250,000 a year.
Right.
So I didn't want to throw that away compared to going to play football. But I'm so glad that I did not do that, because maybe I wouldn't be sitting here today doing this interview.
Right, true.
That's how I look at it. I don't look at it pessimistic. I look at it in a positive manner. Hey, thank God I didn't go play football, because I would have never been at World Wrestling Federation, or known today as World Wrestling Entertainment.
TitleMatchNetwork.com